Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Students AndrewJAwe and Zach Waters, representing the Young Democrats and Young Republicans of Hilton Head Island School, explain the importance of young voters. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for
this is
having us.
certainly quite the year to be thinking about all of that. So what got you interested in politics? I'll start with you.
Okay. I got first interested into politics during the 2008 inauguration. I was standing atop my dad's shoulders because I was too little to get above the crowd. And what I could see is I could just see everyone so excited. I could see the passion. And really it was then when I realized that politics is much more than the people that we elect. It's the change that we want. And so I saw that with some passion and, of course, some votes, a lot of change could happen, and the country could just change like that overnight.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Well, I really actually started to get interested in 2016. My parents aren't very politically minded, and so the election was so controversial. You see two very polarizing candidates, and it was all over the news, and I'd never followed it before, and I was like, man, this is really powerful. It's really amazing, like, how involved people are in this and just the extent, like, how big this was in our country. So what I saw is that it really kind of stirred a fire within me, that you can be a political servant, that you can stand on your morals and your beliefs, and you can do that well, and you can get people fired up for your cause.
Right.
And I couldn't believe how powerful that was, and it was like, man, I really want to do something with this. I want to get involved. So that's when I really was like, yeah, this is cool. I'm going to get into politics.
Yeah, very nice. Very well said, both of you. And what kind of activities are the members of your club engaged with?
Well, for my club, I know that both of our clubs, we've been very engaged with campaigns. And I've worked very closely with the county party. Off of the top of my head, I would like to thank Myra Ramirez and Bill Walker, who have been in the county party really helping me a lot. And we've gone internships for the members of our club where they call, they canvass, they are putting out signs. And really what my focus is trying to get them engaged in activities that make them understand that they have a voice. So when there's not an election, I want to make sure that they still know that they have a voice in between the time of those elections. So what we do is we go to town halls, we go to a lot of different events, like political events and things like that. We've gone to state conventions, and then when election season comes around, I want them to know that they have a voice, and even though they can't vote, they can still try and affect the vote and try and use their voice.
So why do you feel like the young voice is so important in our culture today?
The reason I see a young voice as being so important is that I was looking at a statistic this morning. It said that we have 46 million eligible 18 to 29-year-old voters, and we have 39 million senior voters that are eligible. So if you see the difference there, that's 7 million more people. And as young people, we have this opportunity in our society and in our culture that we really can make a difference, that we're the young people of tomorrow, that we can go out there, we can change the world, we can make this a place that we want to live in, a place that's better for us and better for the people in it. So I think it's so important that as young voters, we put a precedent into being willing to go out there and vote, to make your voice heard, because it's so important, and you only have so much time in your life. There's only so many elections, there's only so many moments where your voice and your greatest right as an American and that liberty to vote is heard. And each vote really does count, and I think it's important.
And you really want to make it count.
It really, I mean, it does, because it's you, and it's what you stand for, and it's what you believe, and you can put that on the table. And I think that's so important, that we need to understand and engage young people and keep people passionate about politics.
Absolutely. So how can the community help in turning out some young voters, do you feel?
Well, there is a kind of cultural change that we can make, and there's a systematic change. If we look at it from a systematic way, we can talk about automatic voter registration, which has been proven to increase voter turnout. They do this in a lot of Midwestern states where we see some of the highest voter turnout in both the general population as well as younger voters. And then there's a cultural change that we can make. One of my solutions for a cultural change is, look, we can see where tradition forms in young minds. We have parents that take their kids to church every week, and what that ends up doing is those kids go on and they start going to church every week as well, and they take their kids to church when they're older. So what we need to do, I think, is what would be great for parents to do is to go take their kids to the polling places every election, make it a habit that's formed. And I think, Zach, you talked about another cultural change, right?
I think just like the culture of engagement and some of our older generations being willing to give back out of that wisdom and their knowledge, and they've experienced elections and that they've been through this. I think as young people, sometimes we don't even realize just the power of an election and what's really going on around us. I don't always know if the school system does a good enough job. We only have a quarter in U.S. government during our sophomore year. We only have like a 9-week span where we're really learning about what's going on in our political system. So as a culture, I think if some of these people that are devoted to politics and understand what is going on, if they could be willing to give back maybe time, voter registration, or just being willing to inform and to talk to the youth. Talk to, if you're a parent, talk to your kids. If you're a grandparent, the younger people in your life,
Absolutely.
get them excited about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you both for your commitment and your passion, and we are so glad that you stopped by today.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for having
Thank
us.
you.
And we thank you so much for joining us on today's Talk of the Town.